Hi, and welcome back to Regulate Your Nervous System. I am Maria Brown. So, if you are waking up really tired, pushing through your days, and not understanding why sleep just isn't working for you anymore, this episode is for you. So, stick around.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the rhythm. Oh, from stress to steady, watch you listen and grow with Maria Brown on the mind body flow. Regulate your nervous system.
So, if you are tired all of the time, it's not because you're doing life wrong. It is about your nervous system being dysregulated. And it's very difficult for your body to feel relaxed when you are in a state of survival, when your nervous system has you in protection mode all of the time. So, what does that mean? It means you can fall asleep. You think you're staying asleep throughout the night. Maybe it's restless sleep, but you're not really sure when you wake up. You can rest. You can take time off and read a book and feel like you're relaxing and still feel completely depleted. And so exhaustion isn't always about how much you're doing, it's about how your body feels while you're doing it. And so there's a difference between resting and recovering. And if your body is in survival mode or is in fight or flight, or if the sympathetic nervous system is the activated nervous system, then no matter how much you rest or how much you think you're sleeping, your body is still going to feel like the mind is racing, your muscles are going to be tense, you're going to find it very difficult to settle down, to focus, to find clarity, and sometimes even motivation. And so your brain keeps scanning and your hormones don't settle down. And that's really important for restful and regenerative sleep at night so that you feel rested and you feel energized the next day. A lot of times we hear about high performing people in business or even students that are constantly on the go and they're learning and they're studying and they're working. It's because they are not able to down regulate at the end of the day. And it may be that the start of the day is dysregulated. If you wake up immediately and you're looking at your phone or you're listing in your head and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, all the things I have to do today, not in a mindset of all the things I get to do today, it can really change the way your body responds throughout the day and even impact your sleep at night because you get these cortisol spikes. So we're going to dig deeper into that in just a moment. And so you might recognize some of these things. That midday, I got to have some caffeine to push through the rest of the day. Or you sit on the couch and you're ready to relax and you're cannot get your body to settle in, or you're getting ready to read a book and your mind keeps racing and thinking about things that happened during the day or things that you have to do tomorrow or things that maybe you forgot to do today, and all of a sudden blood pressure starts to rise, your heartbeat starts to go faster, you may get thirsty, and you feel that anxiety coming on. So if that resonates with you, it happens to many people, but it's not anything that you're doing. It's your nervous system begging you to slow down. And so let's talk a little bit about the hormone regulation piece that's so important in order to get a really good night's sleep. So I want you to imagine this scenario. You wake up in the morning. Now, some people may wake up very calm, well rested, starting their day in a moment of gratitude. Maybe they have a practice that they do, gratitude practice or breathwork practice or meditation practice, or maybe they just sit and stretch their body in the morning before doing anything. And then there's the other person who wakes up, they grab their phone, they start scrolling, they see the news, they want to check to see how they're posted the day before, or they're checking their calendar. What am I supposed to be doing? Do I have an early appointment? What time is it? Do I have to get the kids out the door? Did I forget to make lunch yesterday for the kids, or do I have to make it now? Right? Your mind gets racing. So there's two different scenarios. Both people have an elevation in cortisol and serotonin. The minute you open your eyes, your serotonin goes up from a light trigger, and your cortisol goes up naturally because that's the energy that we need to start the day. And if you get a cortisol spike really early in the morning, that will continue throughout the day unless you take moments throughout the day to slow down, get connected, mind and body, and regulate your nervous system. That cortisol will continue to spike and spike and spike, and so will the adrenaline. So as we move out of alpha brainwave state and into beta brainwave, which is normal, everybody does that throughout the day, those cortisol levels, when those levels are so high in the evening and don't start to reduce, your melatonin cannot get high enough to get you into a deep, restful state of sleep. And so that's a piece that most people don't really know, that the start of your day can impact the quality of sleep for that evening's sleep. Some of the things that can really help are taking breaks throughout the day, quieting the mind, and certainly at the end of the day, it is so, so, so important 60 minutes before bedtime that you are off the phone, tablets, off the computer screen, and that you're doing something to down-regulate your nervous system. So what does that mean? What does that even look like? It could be some breathing techniques that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. It can be reading a book and just listening to some really calm meditative music, or some music that's theta brainwave, delta brainwave, alpha brainwave. You can even search for melatonin inducing music. And so that starts to shift your brainwaves. But as you're reading, or if you are doodling, so doodling is a really great way to just be moving and not thinking. It's a form of meditation. And you can use colorful pencils or colored markers, and it can really help you down-regulate at the end of the day. Right now, I'm going to give you a couple of breathing techniques that will help you down-regulate. So the first one is coherent breathing, and that is establishing a connection between the brain and the body. Throughout the day, if we get dysregulated, if we get really anxious, if we get overwhelmed, we become disconnected and our heart rate variance drops. As our anxiety goes up, our blood pressure goes up, our heart rate goes up. And so connecting the mind and the body together again before you go to sleep is really important. And rhythmic breathing is very easy to do. It's just doing it correctly. So making sure that you're breathing diaphragmatically and not through the chest area. When we breathe shallowly, we are doing the same thing as if we're in fight or flight, and that is we are in a state of hyperventilation. If we are breathing shallowly here, it's the same as if we were mouth breathing. So we're going to do inhales through the nose, but the first thing you'll do is you'll exhale out first through the mouth, and as you do that, you'll pull the belly in, feel what that feels like, and then take the inhale and push the belly out. That is diaphragmatic breathing. It's as if there's a balloon that's expanding and contracting in the belly, and that's really important for this coherence that we're trying to create. And you can start with 4-4, so breathing in through the nose for a count of 4 and exhaling through the mouth for a count of 4. The goal is to slow down your breathing every single day. If you slow the breathing down, the signal that goes to the brain is safety, and it comes out of protection mode, and it allows you to go into this very restful, restorative state. And you can slow down your breath by moving from a 4-4 breath to 5-5, 6-6, 7-7, keep going. The higher the number, the slower the breath. And what that really means is you're slowing down your breath so that you're breathing anywhere between 4 and 6 breaths per minute. And that's a goal for healthy, optimal breathing. And it does amazing things for your body as far as oxygen efficiency and getting oxygen to your cells and tissues so that every organ system in your body is functioning optimally. The second thing is doing what we call a 1-2 breath. And what that means is exhaling twice as long as the inhale. So depending on what your lung capacity is, you can start with a 2-4 breath, which means inhaling through the nose for a count of 2, exhaling for a count of 4. My favorite before bed is a 4-8 breath for just a couple of minutes. You'll notice as you breathe in through the nose for a count of 4 and exhale slowly through the mouth with pursed lips as if blowing through a straw for a count of 8. You slow down the breath. You'll feel the difference after the first round. And so do that for 5 minutes. And then my absolute favorite, always go to, is in bed and doing a 4-7-8 breath. And what that is breathing in through the nose for a count of 4, then you're holding your breath for 7 counts, and then exhaling slowly through the mouth for a count of 8. And that slows everything down. And I usually will fall asleep just from that 4-7-8 breath. So that's an amazing one to try. And just a few other tips for preparing your space for deep restorative sleep. You allow light in, it increases serotonin production, but when you're sleeping, you want serotonin production to be low and you want your melatonin to be high. You want your cortisol to be low. And so your environment makes a big difference. Sleeping with either a iFold that doesn't allow any light in, or if you have blackout shades, even putting on the music that I suggested, alpha, delta, theta, brainwave music, or some white noise, that will help significantly. And absolutely staying away from screen time an hour before. And then also 2 other things that are really important are hydration throughout the day. Having your cells hydrated impacts the way you sleep. Drinking of your body weight every day in ounces is really important for setting yourself up for a very restful night's sleep. Otherwise, your cells are stressed, your systems are stressed if they're not hydrated. The food you put into your body is super important. Nutrient dense foods are really important, staying away from sugar, caffeine, and alcohol before bed, because that will not only disrupt your sleep, it could prevent you from falling asleep. So those are just some tips for your surroundings. So just to review this loop at how important your morning is to get a really good night's sleep. When we wake up, even if we start off in a dysregulated state, we can bring ourselves back to this safe space operating from the rest and digest mode, the parasympathetic nervous system. And you can do that quickly through the rhythmic breathing. You can do box breathing, inhaling through the nose for a count of 4, holding your breath for 4, exhaling for a count of 4, and holding your breath for a count of 4. And that just slows the breath down. Just taking a few moments in your mind to be grateful. I feel like I got a really great night's sleep last night. I am grateful for the fact that I'm breathing. I am grateful that there's sunshine today, whatever it may be. But having a few moments of gratitude and really feeling that gratitude can change your frequency and the way that you show up in the morning. And even just moving your body a little bit, moving your arms out, getting up, dancing, humming, any of that can change your state so that you're calm, so you don't get that cortisol spike. Right? Because if you get that cortisol spike too early, it's going to keep spiking and spiking and spiking. And if you don't take the time to self-regulate throughout the day and slow the breath down, then it's going to keep spiking. And by the end of the day, it's going to be so high, and so will the adrenaline, that it'll be very difficult to get it low enough so that your melatonin, which is the hormone that you need to fall asleep and get into deep rejuvenated sleep, will be suppressed, and you want that to be as high as it can be. So just nourishing your body throughout the day, lots of water, and doing those routines 60 minutes before bed will help immensely. So if this podcast resonated with you, subscribe and like it, share it with somebody who you think could use this information, because my goal is to get this information into the hands of the people who need it most. And I count on you to do some of that sharing, because you know people who can use it. And also comment or ask questions. I love to go through the comments and questions and respond. You can also learn more, if you want, I have free Wednesday webinars that I do the first 3 Wednesdays of every month. And in my link tree, you can find the registration for that. And we do that on Zoom. There's coaching, there's retreats, there's all different things. And you can find that all in my link tree. And follow me on social media. I now have all platforms as Maria Brown Breathwork. So you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There's another YouTube channel, and there's all kinds of breathing techniques and tips for good sleep, energizing, reducing anxiety, for improving your digestion through the power of your breath and through somatic practices and creative wellness practices, just like the doodling. So until next time, the best gift that you can give to yourself and everyone else in your life and to the world is to regulate your nervous system. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for being here with me today.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the rhythm. Oh, from stress to steady, watch you listen and grow with Maria Brown on the Mind Body Flow. Regulate your nervous system.